folks, good morning, and welcome to the corner of Main and Gleason. Here we are. So, as the big guy looks on from your right and also from up above, we are here to commemorate a remarkable career at the Kentucky Lottery Corporation, where Arch Gleason served as our leader for 23 years. From the day shortly after his death, when a KLC employee by the name of Terry Boyer had the idea of let's get Chapel Street renamed Arch Gleason Way, a number of folks have stepped into the conversation to help bring this about. It took about 30 seconds into a conversation with Mayor Greg Fisher, who had worked very closely with Arch over the years, before the mayor interrupted me and said, you know what, let's make this happen. Now, unfortunately, the mayor is out of town today due to a family commitment, but here in his behalf is his Chief of Staff, Ellen Hesen. Please welcome Ellen.
Thank you, Chip, and good morning, everyone. Mayor asked me to send his regards. He was really sorry he couldn't be here today, but wanted to pass along his deepest respects for Arch Gleason. When Mayor Fisher took office, he declared that lifelong learning and compassion would be two of the core values of our city and his administration. We try to live those every day in the mayor's office, and he certainly found a kindred spirit in that effort in Arch Gleason. Arch's work to transform the lottery into a critical funding mechanism for college scholarship took guts, vision, and compassion. The mayor got to know Arch and admire him before he even took office. He was an entrepreneur, and he and Arch were both CEOs and very active with the local Center for Quality Management. The mayor said, Arch was a great systems thinker. He enjoyed using both data and language insights to help people, his company, and the city. He was a good man who left this earth too soon. We'd like to thank Metro Council President David Yates and all the council members for recognizing Arch's great contributions to the lives of our young people, our community, and our state with this honor today. This renamed street is but one representation of Arch's contributions. His greatest legacy is found in the lives transformed by the Keys and other scholarship programs funded by the lottery. And that's a legacy that will endure and benefit the people of the Commonwealth for generations to come. So thank you, Arch.
Thank you, Ellen. Now, there are some people in this world that are so famous they literally go by one name: Cher, Bono, and in our case, Bronger. Please welcome our key account manager, Mr. Mike Bronger, representing employees from the Kentucky Lottery.
Thank you very much, Chip. Thank you all very much. I'm honored to speak of my friend today. What a wonderful person and great leader he was. The Kentucky Lottery Arch came to is amazingly different from the one that he left. When he arrived here in September of '93, the lottery was just 4 years old, and we had already had 3 presidents. The governor had just fired the president, the entire board of directors, and all the senior management with the exception of one person. I'm glad they kept that one person. Arch took over the ship, put it back on course, and helped us to go on to generate more than $4 billion to go towards the good causes of the Commonwealth. But that's not the Arch I want to tell you all about today. Instead, I want to tell you about the friend many of us shared for over 2 decades here. I work for the Kentucky Lottery as a key account manager, and that means I work with the big chain stores that sell lottery tickets. However, I started here as a machine deliverer and installer, and as I worked my way up to this new position, on the day of my promotion, the day it was announced, Arch come into my office and he said, "Congratulations, Mike, and I want you to know that I'm here for you if you need anything." And absolutely, that meant the world to me. He also said, "I'm not really sure what you do." He said, "But if you need any help or my guidance, you let me know and we'll walk through this together." We walked through a lot of things together over the years, and not all of them dealing with the sales of lottery tickets. Last year, when my youngest son faced serious health issues, he'd come in and check on me. He even gave me his own vacation time to cover when I needed to be with my son. I can't imagine many people who are the president and CEO of a billion-dollar corporation doing such. When he'd come into the office in the morning, many days his first order of business was not to check our lottery sales or to see where we was at for the week. It was to find out whose birthday it was that day. And all of us here can recall Arch's annual visits to our office or wherever we was to find us to wish us happy birthday. Many times I'd be on the road and he would call me and say, happy birthday. I'm sorry I don't get to see you today. You know, he made you feel special, and he definitely made us feel like we was a part of something bigger, and we absolutely were. We're family. When he died, some of the first things I heard from most of my co-workers was that guy never forgot my birthday. He never forgot mine. There also aren't many presidents and CEOs who insist that their phone numbers stay in the phone book so that people could call him with any concern or problem that they have. That's unheard of. It really is. When I took Arch to stores, he wanted to run and talk to the cashiers and clerks and thank them. And he would thank them he would thank them for all their work, and he told them that they was key to our success, and they truly are, the frontline people, and how their work helps send kids to college in every corner of the Commonwealth. I learned a lot from Arch Gleason. I watched him surround himself with good people. I watched him turn this ship around, and I watched him succeed while having a heart of gold. And from this powerful man, I also learned how a small gesture or even a smile can make someone feel very special. Saying Gleason Way right here in Main Street makes me feel really good. And Arch, that's one amazing legacy, buddy. Thank you all very much.
Mike, thank you. Our event today absolutely would not have occurred had it not been for the Herculean effort of our next speaker. When we first contacted Metro Council President David Yates with the request to make this name change, the conversation immediately went from not when, or not how rather, but when we were going to absolutely do this. And along with the greatest legislative aid on the history of the earth, Mr. Brian Bowles, they moved mountains, Metro Council, and even the Public Works Department to bring about the celebration that we're having here today. Please join me in welcoming, for our unveiling, Metro Council President David Yates.
Do me the honor. Hold on 1 second. Sure. Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you each for having me here today. When I first got the phone call from Mike, he called over, and a little more emotional phone call than a conversation here today. I hung up, and I decided I had to really know who Arch really was. I'd heard the name, but as I went through and I read his accomplishments, I was really, well, honestly, I was honored to be put in this place. In this life, there's only so much that we can do. But those of us who can live our life with honor, love, and integrity, and just maybe do something amazing, they deserve to be honored. And so I'm very, very fortunate to be here with you today. The Metro Council decided to pass a resolution to honor that legacy of him, and I'll read that here today. It reads, whereas Arch Gleason served as the Kentucky Lottery Corporation President and Chief Executive Officer from September 1993 to July 2016. Whereas the Louisville Metro Council and the Board of Directors of Kentucky Lottery Corporation recognizes President and CEO Arch Gleason for his many achievements during his 23 years of service. Whereas he became the longest tenured lottery director in the United States, serving for 5 governors. And whereas he oversaw the growth of Kentucky Lottery from $400 million in sales per year to nearly $1 billion. And whereas he worked to provide more than $2.5 billion with a B, in college scholarships and grants to 660,000 students across our Commonwealth. And whereas he was elected to 3 terms as president of the World Lottery Association, traveling the globe as he led the worldwide trade organization representing the lotteries of 80 different countries over 5 years. It's not very often it goes to a second page. And whereas he was elected president of the North American Association of State and Provincial Lotteries, the trade organization for North American lotteries, and whereas he was elected president of the Multi-State Lottery Corporation, the oversight agency for the Powerball, And whereas he was inducted into the Public Gaming Research Institute's Lottery Hall of Fame and receiving their Lifetime Achievement Award and Lottery Industry Statesman Award, and whereas he served on the board of directors of numerous Louisville charities, including Bridgehaven Mental Health Services, where he served as president, the Fund for the Arts, and the American Heart Association, and as a member of the Metro United Way Tocqueville Society. And thus, it was resolved by the Legislative Council of the Louisville Jefferson Metro Government that we can so proudly honor the life and legacy of Arch Gleason with the honorary naming of Chapel Street to now be known as Arch Gleason Way. And whereas we bestow on Arch's loving family the honor to please unveil the new street sign. It's up to you. To the grandkids, you want to come up here and hold this for me? I got a couple of cheerleaders, so I can probably throw you up there and we can do a grab. All right, come up here. Put you in there. All right. And also to the family, here's a copy of our resolution that was passed and will forever be inducted to Metro government. Thank you.
Thanks, kids. Good job. Thank you. All right, we have one last speaker this morning, and it's really interesting. In the time since Arch has passed, he has literally received invitations from around the world for his family to come to be honored. The family has not been up to it until today, and this is the first one that they've said yes to, and how appropriate that the first one that they came to do sits 100 feet from the front door of the Kentucky Lottery. For our final speaker today, please welcome Arch's oldest son, Archie Gleason.
Good morning, everybody. I first want to say thank you for this amazing honor from my entire family. You know, in Louisville, to be counted among names like Jefferson and Washington and favorite son Muhammad Ali as folks who have a street named after him, it's truly amazing. Actually, on the way here, I almost went to Smiling Irishman Alley because I thought that was the one that they were naming for my dad, which is down there between 7th and 8th if you're looking. But it also is very appropriate. There's no speed limit signs on the street. So Dad would have really appreciated that. Many knew my dad. You know, people were drawn to my father for a number of reasons. The biggest ones that I could name are, you know, an infectious sense of humor, you know, his generosity and kindness, and just the fact that he was so loyal and loving. You know, those traits were just a few that made this man. They drove the Arch Gleason way. There are a number of things along the way in his career that kind of give you insight as to who this guy was. And you know, one of which is right across the street. When Dad and Rick and the crew back then were faced with moving the lottery as it grew from down on 264, you know, one of the things I said to my dad was, that is awesome. You know, there's great office space opening up like a half mile from your house down there in Middletown. And Dad was always a visionary and was always had in mind, he always had in mind the bigger picture and the bigger good. And he said, no, you know, there's a lot that they're trying to do downtown, and we want to be a part of that. We want to bring this business downtown. You know, the Key Scholarship and all the scholarship monies that they've given are what he counted as maybe his greatest business accomplishment. And I personally received a number of, as you can imagine, consolation notes and letters and things. And one of my buddies that I play basketball with sent me one of the kindest notes, and at the bottom it said, P.S. I received a Key Scholarship and I never knew who to thank, but now I do. You know, the charity work, some of which was mentioned today, things like United Way and Bridgehaven and U of L's Autism Services and the Fund for the Arts, those are things that, you know, make someone whole. If you look up integrity in the dictionary, it's not what you think you'd always find. Integrity is wholeness, and that's part of what my dad was, and that's who he was. You know, I have a challenge to everybody here today, and that is for each and every one of you to honor God and family with your every endeavor. You know, Dad reflected his values in his work. I challenge you to do that. He actively worked to improve his community. another challenge for you. And more than anything else, he loved his wife and his family with every part of himself. And that's what we should all do. I challenge you, each and every one of you, to live the Arch Gleason way. Thank you.